Welcome to the Launching Light podcast. I'm your host, Coach Bianca from FuelYourMagic.com. I'm so excited for this episode. Our guest today is the multi-talented Ciara Rubin, the theater-trained singer, teacher, and intuitive empath behind CiaraRubin.com. She's an intuitive biz and life coach, helping empaths to heal 100% and to create an authentic spiritual brand that sells. She teaches her clients to use their voice to break free from fear and get clear on how to create the life of their dreams. I've known Ciara for quite a while. We first crossed paths on the Periscope live streaming app about 4 years ago. Back then, she would go live with her beautiful voice, singing her favorite Disney tunes and sharing her intuitive gifts with oracle card readings and sound and voice healing. She's come a long way since then with her business and her brand and has so much wisdom and advice to share with our community. In this interview, we touch on staying consistent in your business, self-care tips, and getting inspired to carry out your mission. Enjoy the interview. Hi, Ciara. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I am so good, which honestly sounds a little weird. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. You can edit it out, but because we're in the middle of this coronavirus, there's so many waves of emotion for everybody, and me included. I happen to be on a joy wave right now, so I'm riding it.
Well, you know what? That's allowed. And I really think that not only is it allowed, but I think that's what we should be doing right now, because with everybody being so anxious and so worried about everything that's going on, we need a counterbalance. And in a way, I sort of feel like that's why a lot of us are here. So I say go with it, and this won't be edited out. So,
Yay.
alrighty. So, how did you first decide to launch your business? And can you share a little bit about what your business is?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll share a little bit about what my business is. It's a blend of intuitive transformational coaching and vocal sound healing. So I have been singing since I was a little girl, and thought I wanted to be on Broadway. I went to college for musical theater and realized through the process that was somebody else's dream for me instead of my actual dream. So after college, instead of moving to New York or trying to join traveling shows, I just really felt lost and unsure of who I was. And fast forward a little bit to actually the Ebola virus crisis that almost broke out. That was about 5 years ago or so, almost about 6 years ago, maybe. And I was so scared at that time. If you had asked, I would not have been riding a joy wave at that time. I was all up in my feelings. I was terrified. I was at the grocery store buying all the things and just panicking. And I was so terrified. And I had also experienced somewhat of a political awakening at the time. And I was so terrified that I was just losing it. I was losing it. And for the very first time, as I did not grow up in a religious household, for the very first time, I prayed, and I prayed to a God that I didn't even know if it was there or not, and asked, please, if you please don't let this happen, I'll do what you will. I'll let you work through me. I'll do what I'm meant to do in this life. Just don't let this happen. Don't let this outbreak happen. I will do what I'm supposed to do. And 2 months later, I was invited to my first ever psychic fair by a new friend. And I was open to the idea. I'd never been to a psychic fair before. I was a little shocked that there was a psychic fair in Georgia where I was living. But I'm from California, so that was a little bit more normal seeming. And so I was open-minded. But I went, and the woman told me that I got a reading from. She said, "You are like psychic, like you can do what I do." I've told her some paranormal experiences that I'd had, and she said, "These experiences that you had, like, absolutely, this is the work you're meant to do. You're going to be a leader. You're going to be a teacher." And I was like, "You are crazy, lady. You are crazy. I'm the director of operations for a chamber of commerce, and I just got engaged, and I'm checking the boxes." So,
right.
But something deeper within me that voice, that still small voice that at the time I never listened to, said, yeah, like 100% yes. And so, being the Gemini sun that I am, I went home and immediately started watching all the videos, consuming all of the content that I possibly could find on the subject. And that's when it just dawned on me, like, I need to start a business. I don't know why. I was just like, I need to start a business doing this. Like, I want this to be a real thing. Like, this needs to be understood. Everybody needs to know about themselves in the way that I know about myself, whether it's, being psychic or intuitive, whether it's being a teacher and a coach or whatever. Like, people need to know and have that deep sense of satisfaction that I have, that I'm part of something bigger than myself and I know who I am. I want other people to have that.
Right.
So that's why I started a business.
Cool. So, something else I wanted to ask you, do you have any self-care practices or tools that you use to help you show up as your best self to serve in your business and to help out your clients?
Yes. Yes. And it's been a long road of developing those. And I mean, I would say that it took just kind of layering them on top of one another, getting really, really consistent with one thing. So for me, it started with journaling, a little gratitude journal, writing 5 things I was grateful for, and then 10 goals that I have, but writing them as if they're already happening. They've already come to pass. So instead of that energy, that feeling of, oh gosh, I got to get there, it's kind of like, ooh, what does it feel like if I own that and I say that that's already mine, even if it's, 2, 5, 10 years in the future. It just feels more energizing that way. So I started with that, and I have done that religiously every single day for almost 3 years. And
Wow.
I started with that layer, and then I added a yoga layer. So I move my body every day. I don't do a hard workout every day, just because that for my particular body type, I'm 5 foot tall. And it just is, cardio is high impact typically. So I
Right.
start with yoga every day. So I do yoga. Sometimes I do 20 minutes. Sometimes I do 30 minutes. Sometimes I do 5 minutes, but I make sure that I am just at least doing it for 5 minutes, at least doing it every day. And more recently, I would say in the past year or so, I've added the running. I've just started last week training for a 5K that I signed up for before this whole coronavirus thing started. But I absolutely recommend, doesn't have to be running, but some kind of cardio. It just gets those endorphins going. And I went for a run today. So it's like, I am happy. I am just really feeling energized and ready to be productive. So moving my body, writing in my journal, and then meditation is crucial. Now, silent meditation, I don't know if it's a Gemini thing or just like a thing. Silent meditation is really hard. It's really hard. So I typically do either my own vocal sound healing meditations that I've written, or I'll do a guided meditation, or I have an affirmation app that I have on my phone. So I'll chant the affirmation in my mind, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. So those are kind of my baseline. So meditation, journaling, and moving my body. I'm a really healthy eater. All of these things are really important. And I know as you're listening to this, as a listener, it might sound really overwhelming. It might be like, oh my gosh, like I can't do all those things like
Right.
right
That's
now.
way too much.
Yeah. But like I said, it's been a layering process, and it might take you 3 years or a whole year or whatever to start layering, because, self-care is something that you do when you love yourself, and you can't love yourself if you don't trust yourself. So if you're going to trust yourself, a big way to build that trust is to show up for yourself every single day, even if it's just writing down 5 things every single day. And you slowly start to build that self-trust and feel like, you know what? I am worth starting this other extra thing to take care of myself.
Right. That's really good advice. I know that you're really busy. You have a very young child, you're married, you have a business. So do you have any tips to like get yourself motivated to fit all of that in, or do you need something to help you get it in, or do you have any advice there? Because I'm the type that needs like a little bit of like a kick in the butt.
Um, yeah. So what I would say partially is, I think there's many goals, right? I recognize that my purpose in life is to be a mother because that is truly my true legacy is through my children, right? But I
Hmm.
also have these goals and I'm always trying to get to my business. So one tip that I would have is do something that if you're starting a business, do something that you're excited enough about that you want to get to it. Like you
Right,
want to be like, oh gosh, like I actually need to put some boundaries in place for myself because I'm wanting to do it all the time. And you
right.
should put those boundaries in place because if you don't, you will get burnt out. Um,
Hmm.
so my tips would be number one, do something that you're so excited about. Find that deeper meaning, that deeper purpose. I would assume that most people who are listening to this have experienced some type of spiritual awakening.
Hmm.
Are interested in spirituality. So you have that tie in, you have that understanding that you are part of something bigger. You are here for a reason. There absolutely is a mission. It's not about getting all like into the fact that there is a mission and getting all,
Hmm.
lost in your other lives of carrying forward that mission. A message that keeps coming through to me very often from my guides is this life is the linchpin. And if you don't know what a linchpin is, it's a pin that goes into the wheel of a wagon or some other type of wheel. And it's the crucial thing that keeps the whole wheel together. It keeps the wheel turning. So you imagine that idea of the wheel and you imagine that this life that you are living right now is the linchpin. So this is the one. This is the important one. This is your redemption life. This is the life that you lived and died for. Okay,
Right,
so don't get so lost in the mission that you forget to do the mission here.
right. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my goodness, that gave me chills.
I was getting excited too. I don't know if you
Yeah,
did.
really. Yeah, that was beautiful. So, what are you working on now? Do you have any offerings being released soon or?
Yes. So right now, my word for 2020 is consistency. So I have what I call I've committed to getting on what I call the content treadmill. And I have committed to not getting off of it come hell or high water. And so that was a really big commitment for me, considering everything I have going on in my life. But um, that's it. I'm working on consistency. So that looks like um, publishing a YouTube video every week. I just published a new one today, which is all about how Oprah endorses sound healing, which I'm super excited about. I am on Instagram almost pretty much every single day, posting either a story, I post on my feed once a week. So I am working on consistency and also continuing to iron out my niche and my zone of genius. So I
Hmm.
am teaching elements of vocal sound healing right now, and also am adding in and transitioning to intuitive transformational coaching because that's really what I am. I can own this. I am a master of transformation. And I am a master of shadow work and transforming myself into more and more of my highest version and highest self. And so I want to share that wisdom with people. And I want to use my crystal clear intuition that I have developed to help people transform themselves and have that same sense of, yeah, I can transform. Like no matter what's happening in my life, I can transform this. I can purge myself of the shadow and I can let the light in. So that is what I am doing right now. I am currently offering one-on-one coaching. So I'm in a test phase to really understand the type of transformation that I am best at guiding people through. So I'm opening an application for people to apply to work with me for 9 weeks one-on-one. They'll get to work with me. We'll have weekly calls and email support and a bunch of other kinds of goodies. So if they want more information about that, definitely either send me a DM through Instagram or that's probably the best way to reach me is through Instagram, or you can shoot me an email through my website.
Beautiful. Okay, well, we're about out of time, so I'd like to thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights today with me and with everyone else. And I'd love to have you back on again in the future.
Yeah, this was so much fun.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And you're doing amazing things in the world, and it's just an honor to know you and have known you for as long as I have.
Same here, ditto. Wasn't Ciara's energy so inspiring? If you love her vibe, give her a follow. Her contact information is posted below in the notes and on the blog at fuelyourmagic.com/004. What were your favorite tips or takeaways from this episode? Will you implement any yourself? I'd love to hear from you. Comment on the blog at fuelyourmagic.com/004 or send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram at fuelyourmagic. Join me on the podcast next week where I'll be giving you more tips, tools, and practices to help you make your business as magical as you are. Now get out there and launch your light. Have a magical week.